Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1055. Directed by Hazuki Omoya from Her and Kenichi Takeshita's board and supervised by Kazuya Hisada. While I'm not particularly excited by the content itself, I'm very interested in what Hazuki Omoya's debut on the series will be like coming right off of the Dragon Quest Dai adaptation. Now, of course, she won't be handling the entirety of the board herself here, as Takeshita's in tow too, but it will certainly give us a good idea of what to expect from her, and perhaps she'll find some ways to spice up the content even if the preview itself doesn't look all too special. With a good animation supervisor in Hisada, let's find out just how well this debut ep goes. This episode covers the Sanji content from 1029 not covered previously in the first 10 pages of chapter 1030 to make for 13 pages covered in total. And thankfully it all still feels like it fits in super well after rearranging a content a bit to make it so last week was focused on the two characters of Kid and Killer, and this episode itself is one that is basically jumping all over the place to begin with, so it kind of makes sense. And when tied together with some albeit brief but good filler when it comes to setting up the CP0 rapidly approaching Robin and Brooke among some other small bits, it does try to make it at least a little tinge more cohesive. However, I do have to say that for an episode that is supposed to feel kind of chaotic because of its source material, the music choices and general atmosphere from Omoya don't really execute that well outside of the final moments after Kazunbo has been unleashed instead of when, which kind of doesn't make it feel like as much of a table-turning moment as it should, even if I don't really care for the plot development to begin with. It does generally have some music choices that range from alright to pretty fitting as far as the rest is concerned, and on the whole I feel like it was executed moderately well, but it definitely did not change my viewpoint on this stretch of content whatsoever. And of course, when we have a rather mediocre to okay adaptation, it's only appropriate that the storyboards follow suit. As Kenichi Takeshita's A part does have some neat ideas here and there, but is largely kind of flat in parts and takes a little bit too much from the manga, which makes stuff like Sanji running away from Queen after his revelation look a little awkward, and Omoya's much better, in my opinion, B part that certainly isn't insane, but has some neat lighting and setting of mood that add a punch to their couple cool ideas here and there that make up for the rather standard performance throughout the rest of it. And some of his best moments you can certainly tell were heightened by other animators, with Hone Hone most definitely changing up the board for the final cut of the episode that is incredibly dynamic and goes so extremely hard for something so short, ending things off on a really Yutaka Nakamura inspired high note for a fairly alright episode. I'm not entirely surprised, obviously, because the preview alone didn't seem to inspire too much confidence, and the content itself was some of Onigashima's most mundane, but the results were rather expected even if there were a few neat little goodies here and there, but that's okay really, because it's just a debut episode, and Omoya will certainly only continue to get better with time, especially when it was pretty good at best during certain moments. Now, let's just hope that they'll be given much more interesting content next time. And speaking of next time, I'm fairly interested in what next week's episode 1056 has to offer for Law and Kid's next big moment. Sho Matsui really impressed last time with 1043, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he executes another one of Nakashima's storyboards, and even shows off a bit of his own storyboarding skills as well. With a preview that screams anime original action, not showing a whole lot and straying far away from showing the title moment, I can't wait for what may be in store. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and all this early Whole Cake Island footage is giving me PTSD.